Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, we're going to be talking about the G87. I had a question from one of you guys asking about comparing this car to an F87. So let's hop in the car, go for a drive, and we'll run over some of the specifications of both cars and kind of talk about how I feel when it comes to both these cars, because I have owned both. And honestly, it's a very difficult comparison because I love both, but for different reasons. Let's hop in the car and go for a ride. All right, let's see here. So someone had commented in the other video that you could actually go into the settings of the car so you don't get that artificial engine noise in the sound. Someone said you could go in here and do that, but I don't see it. I always thought that that was something that you had to code. Well, maybe I'm wrong. If that's the case, you guys tell me if you know where that would be, and if it is in fact in the settings itself, because if I can just turn it off without having to code it, I mean, that would be sick. So I did put down some simple facts. I didn't memorize them, of course, but I do have them here. We'll talk about those for a second. F87 horsepower 431, G87 horsepower 500. So we got about 69 horsepower more in the G87. The F87 weighs 3,600 pounds, and the G87 weighs 3,740 pounds. So 140 pounds more, and that is the that is with the carbon package, which is exactly what my car has. So I'm gonna go over the things that make the most sense and are the most obvious right off the jump. Oh man, I forgot I have any sunglasses in here? So yeah, you guys, comparing the F87 to the G87, obviously there's gonna be more weight with the G87. It is a bigger car, which is, you know, the complaining point that that is the pain point that most people go to when they're talking about the G87. Now, here's the thing with this car. You know, on paper, it obviously is, it does way more. But for me personally, when I started to experience this car more, like I did a few reviews on it, I was able to drive Diverge's M2, which was manual. I also reviewed another a Toronto red manual G87, and then which I explained in the last video, is I went on track all day with an auto G87, which made me want to buy one. Now, being on track and off track, this car does not feel heavy. It actually feels really good. Like, you don't notice a lot of that weight. Now, will the brakes fade faster, tires wear quicker, like things like that on a track? Absolutely, that's without question. But from a straight, like, feeling out the car standpoint, I don't feel the weight difference. That's just me being completely honest. I'm not trying to like sway you guys. I'm not trying to tell you things just because I own one. It makes no difference to me whether you like this car or not. I'm just kind of giving you my opinion based off of the F87 and the G87. Now, the G87 in general doesn't feel like a pig. I've driven cars that are super heavy, and this is not that. It doesn't feel like that. So a lot of the people who are complaining about the weight, like, you can kind of remove that from your head, because it's not, on paper it might, you know, weigh a little bit more, but it's not something that actually plays a role into the way that the car feels when you're driving it. F87 obviously being lighter, obviously being a little bit older. I mean, we can go back in the years and look at the E92 or the E82 or any of these cars. I mean, obviously, you know, those cars were lighter, so they've gotten heavier over the years as they've gotten larger. The F87 has always felt really light. Another thing with the F87, and I'm just gonna speak on like comp terms, because I don't think it's really like a great comparison comparing the N55 to like this car. You know what I mean? Like, it makes more sense to just compare the S55 to this car. When it comes to the way that the S55 and the M2 felt, is it feels obviously much more like raw and connected, and there's more feedback from the road. It's less nannies, obviously the older interior, and we'll discuss that in a little bit too. But the F87 is an incredible car. Like the M2, S55 M2, now that they're not like crazy expensive, because for a while there, dude, they were like, you could not get them under like 50 grand. It was crazy. And I'm talking like a few years ago when I was actually looking for one. they were really tough to get, and now they're starting to come down a little bit, and you can actually get yourself into an S55 M2 for not a whole lot of money. And they're 100% worth it, man. Like, that car is just so capable, so good. It's so raw. It's got less nannies. It's got more feedback. The steering feel is nice, but it's not E92, like, hydraulic steering feel. You know what I mean? It's still electric. You're still getting a lot of assist from that, but it does feel, in my opinion, better than this car. This is not like a track car for me. This is my daily driver. I wanted a car that felt easy to drive, that I enjoyed, that had all of the tech, that had all of the infotainment. I actually really appreciate a lot of these newer things that are in this car because I drive it every day and I just kind of want it to be like easy but also sporty. I want this car to like accomplish a lot of things for me, and that's what it has done really well. If you need more space, obviously, like, get the M3, but dude, the G87, I say it in every video that I talk about this car, like, it has surprised me in every way possible. Performance, daily drivability, like even being lowered with like BBSs on it, you know, it just drives great, man. I don't feel like I'm driving some like project car, race car. It's just perfect. It's right where it needs to be. So I've really enjoyed that about this car. My only complaint about the G87 is the size of the gas tank. It feels like you're running through gas really quick. Like I'm filling this thing up every few days. I mean, I do drive a lot now, so this is to be expected, but I am filling up a lot. I can't remember with the F87 if it felt like that. I'm pretty sure they have comparable gas tank sizes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was probably the same deal with that car. So the S55, you know, great engine, great platform, absolutely love it. Like, dude, I think that like my GTS is probably one of my favorite cars I've ever owned. I've talked about that in other videos. I would love to own another one someday. I would also love to own an F80. Like, I just love that platform so much, dude. I think it's got to be one of the best platforms that BMW has ever produced. Period. It's just so freaking good. And if you haven't owned an S55 car, you really should. Like, outside of the things that people discuss all the time with like maintenance on those cars, they are very good cars. They can last if you take care of them. Dude, they can last you a long time. And the best thing is, if you want to get into the S55 and you can't do it in an M2, you can really find some right now that are not bad. Like, you're getting into that car in the 30s and like sometimes even 20s. Just beware, because it's going to take a little bit more work to maintain it. Now, the obvious difference between G87, S58 and S55 and the F87, crank hub, don't have to do it in this car. Kind of nice. I mean, that is sort of annoying. Like, that is something, I know people are like, oh, it's a myth. It's not a myth, you guys. It's real. It's legit. Like, and if you want the peace of mind, just do it. I did it on my GTS. I did it on my other M4 at the shop, the single turbo one. Obviously, it's just a peace of mind, and we've seen some that have been, man, they have been torqued down really tight and probably never would have spun, and then we've seen some that literally we can just like go like that and it comes out and they were on the verge of spinning. And that's not me trying to sell you guys on a crank hub. That's just me being straight up 100% honest with you. These things happen. Whether you believe it or not, man, it's not snake oil. Now, have companies gone out of their way and, like, you know, blown up the issue to make profit? 100%. Welcome to the world of business, man. Like, people are gonna find a pain point and they're gonna try and capitalize on it. That's how they make money. So, you know, with that being said, I do think it is a real issue that no matter what, in my opinion, if it wasn't done when I bought the car, and if I was like looking for a car to buy, I would probably prefer to have it done or just do it myself. So, obvious pain point there, obvious difference between the G87 and the F87 crank hub. We already know that. It is a thing. Outside of that, like driving dynamics on track, I think that the F87 is probably gonna be a little more fun because you are going to get more feedback, and more feedback, in my opinion, on track is more fun. This car, obviously, it's gonna perform really well. It does perform really well, but it is going to be a little numb. Now, I am going to shamelessly promote one of the services that I offer, which is the CSL flash for this car. I talked about it in the previous video. you can go onto my website and find the CSL defined coating flash that I offer. It is a full package for any G8X car, G87, G80, G82. You can go in and literally we will flash the car in 5 minutes and you will have all of the CSL characteristics. So steering will get heavier like the M4 CSL. The shifting will get faster, and like the clamping power will be harder like the M4 CSL, and the differential will also interact like the M4 CSL. So it actually allows a little more slip in MDM mode, and it's just a little bit more fun and lively to drive the car. Now, I will say that after doing that in this car, it has made a very, very big difference in the way that this car drives, and just makes it a lot more fun. And it's not too expensive. It's like $200 some. So really, really awesome. And you can do it in the manuals as well. Obviously, we don't code the gearbox because you're doing that yourself, and you can be fast if you want. And then also, if you were to get like a software update, it shouldn't delete any of the flashing. You should still retain it, but if you do feel like it has deleted that, we will go ahead, and if we have already worked with you before, we will reflash your car for free. Obviously, we know the VINs, we know who's purchased, and we know who hasn't, so it's pretty easy for us to tell who has and who hasn't. So that is an option as well. When it comes to the F87, now one thing that I really, really love about the G87 is the colors that they offer. The F87 M2, like, they just offered boring colors in my opinion. There's really no like cool options for the F87 comp. The G87, they gave us more options, which I think is just something that people really wanted to see. You know, G82 and G80 got full individual program. Why didn't the G87? Well, the M2 never did. The M2 has always been kind of like the stripped down, basic, cheaper version of what the M3 could have been, but it's a little more nimble and like fun to drive on track. It's like the track version car, right? But also, without getting the CS, you didn't get a carbon roof. And so the cool thing with having the G87 is you can get this carbon package where you're getting buckets, you're getting the carbon roof. Like, the options are just way more sick, in my opinion, with the G87. So from a pure like buying the car standpoint, I think the G87 makes a lot more sense if you want those types of things, if you want like a cool color like Twilight or Voodoo or something like that, and you also want to have a carbon package and buckets and all of that. In my opinion, that's really what, like, one of the great things about this car. Like, once I saw that you could get the buckets and the carbon roof, I was like, I have to have that car. Like, that's so sick, and I have to have the buckets because like the buckets are just so good. So kind of a bummer with the F87, they didn't get that. But from a pure like driving perspective, you guys, like the F87 is just an awesome car all around. Like, if you haven't driven one, I've been fortunate enough to be able to drive a few of them in DCT and manual, and they're just so fun, dude. They are so snappy. Like, you can just like drift those things without any issue at all, and they will just handle it, and they're easy to control. Like, they're so fun, dude. Drive an F87 comp. Like, it's by far one of the coolest cars that BMW has ever produced, in my opinion. And I've driven a lot of BMWs, dude, and like, that is a car that is just sick. I would love to own one, because I've never owned a comp. I had the OG M2, which was also really fun, but yeah, I would love to have a comp. Another cool thing, or another thing I guess we should speak about, is transmissions, manual or DCT, right? So which one are you gonna go for? Again, you guys, they're both really, really good. Like, I had DCT in my GTS, obviously. I had in my OG M2, I had the manual. I've driven manual and DCT in the comps. And if I were to buy an F87 comp, people would like probably hate me for this, but my hot take is that I would probably get the DCT. I think the DCT is so good. After having the DCT in my GTS, man, I just loved it. And it's the same thing with the G87s. I think the ZF8 is really, really good in this car. The G87's a little bit different though. I thought the manual felt really weird in this car, whereas in the F87, I felt like the manual was like right at home. So I don't think you can really go wrong with the F87 in manual or in DCT. If you're gonna track the car and like that's gonna be like your track rat, obviously the DCT is gonna be a much better option for you. Faster shiftings and you can focus more on driving. Manual is a little bit more work on the track, but it's still a really fun car to drive. And manual, like you're getting all of the feeling, right? You're getting all of that connection. So I really prefer a lot of the older cars in manual, but these newer cars, I just like them in automatic. I think they perform better. That's really all it is. That's all it comes down to. I don't know why people get so bent out of shape, like on, oh, it's gotta be manual, or you're not a true enthusiast. I think that's absolute rubbish. Like, you have not driven enough cars if you really think that. Or you're just like super old and stuck in your own ways. So that's kind of my crash course comparison on the two cars, you guys. I don't really think that you can go wrong with, you know, buying either of these cars. It's gonna come down to, you know, looks, like look-wise, like the F8X platform just looks really great. Like I don't ever think that platform is ever going to necessarily look out of date, in my opinion. I think it just looks awesome. Like, it's always looked really, really, really good. I think when they designed that body style, they did a killer job. I think F80 is probably one of the most beautiful M3s ever built. Yeah, so I don't think you can go wrong. But I also, you know, the G87 like grew on me, man. Like, I didn't like it at first. It took a little while to grow on me, and now I'm like all about it. But that's because I've like opened my mind much more to it, you know, and I'm not so like, oh, it's gotta be F8X. Like, I don't know, that's just silly. So, but I am really liking this car. You know, the thing with this car, it does take a little bit of modification to make it look really, really good, in my opinion. Like, just lowering it a tiny, tiny bit of carbon and some wheels just makes this car look so freaking good, man. And I'm really happy with the way that mine is set up. And, you know, I mean, the F87, I mean, that car looks really good just stock. In my opinion, it looks really good. Obviously, it's going to look a lot better if you lower it and, you know, do some carbon and put wheels on it the same. But yeah, both really great options. Just depends on what you're trying to accomplish, and I really don't think you can go wrong with either. I think when these prices start to come down a little bit more on the G87s, these are going to be even more desirable in comparison to some of the older models, because you are getting this newer tech. And I will say, like, if this is a car that you're looking to just drive every day, man, it's just so good. Like, having all of the tech here and having everything that you need right at your fingertips, and the options that these cars are being optioned out with, like the carbon buckets and the roof and the colors and stuff, is just really cool to have in a car. And yeah, I think that that's fun. Like, when you're building a car from factory or just like buying one, you want to buy one with like the stuff that you want, you know? So yeah, so that's really it, you guys. I don't know. I hope that I answered all the questions. You know, I value you guys so much, and I want you to know that, you know, in order for me to serve you, I need to know what you value, and in order for me to know what you value, I need to value you. So, you know, anytime you guys ask questions in the comments or like DM me on Instagram, like, dude, I'm probably gonna turn that into some sort of video. So if you have like if it's a good question that I feel like we can go deep enough into, definitely shoot it my way, especially like when we're comparing newer cars now that I own the G87 for a little bit. You know, let's compare some stuff. Like, throw it my way, and I'll give you my honest insight on it. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I answered some questions here for you, and drop those comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.